And we'll go back into the WordPress area to work with a couple settings here. Now, the first thing that I like to do is change the permalink settings. Now, the permalink just means the URL structure that's used when you create a new blog post. So go to Settings, Permalinks. So as you can see here, the default is the day and name, where they put the year, month, and day in addition to the post name. And I personally don't like that information in there. I like to keep it simple and clean, so I go down to post name and select that. Now, this is really a matter of personal preference. It's not that critical, but I personally like this way, so I do it. So we're going to save those changes. And the next step we're going to do is go to the pages. We're going to add a couple pages here. As you see, they provide a sample page. We're going to add an About page. So we'll just type in About Me. Now you'll see, I'm just going to dismiss this right now. As you'll see, after you type in the title, it's going to provide you, as we just saw, the permalink. And it does that based on the title. Now, you can actually edit that after the fact. So I am going to do that. I don't want this to be about-me. I just want it to be about. So I'm going to edit that permalink. So now we have the title About Me, but our link is just raydelvecchio.com/about. The next thing I'm going to do, I, at the moment, don't want to write a biography. So this is actually a tool that I use and that you may have heard of. It's called Lorem Ipsum. It's just a text generator that's in Latin, but just to add filler text to take up the space if you don't want to write something out and you just want to see how text looks in that space. So I'll just type in 2 paragraphs here. By the way, I just searched Google for Lorem Ipsum, and I'm sure you'll find a bunch of generators that do this exact same thing. So I just do 2 paragraphs, generate it, and copy and paste this text. Ooh, back to the WordPress area. So I'm going to copy and paste this text right in there. And you see, this editor is a lot like Microsoft Word. It's really not that complicated. You can, highlight the text. You can create bolded lists, quote. So you have a lot of the features that are in Word. And in fact, I'm going to do a couple just to see what they look like. So I'm going to, make this first one bold. And I'll actually create a couple more paragraphs here. And the first sentence, or this one sentence paragraph, I'm going to create into a headline. So it's actually not shown by default. You have to click this toolbar toggle. And by default, the text is paragraph, which is just normal text. But if we go in here, we could change it to a bunch of different heading styles. And so I'm going to do heading 3 for this one. And then to do another example, I'm going to put a link in. So I'll just link some random text in here. Here's the link button. So we're going to insert a link. This is where you put in the URL, which at the moment I don't care what the URL is. I just want to test to see what the link looks like. So we're going to add that link in there. And now with this WordPress editor, even though it looks like Microsoft Word, you have this other tab here called the Text tab. And what the Text tab does is it shows you the actual HTML code that's generated based on what you're seeing. So if we switch over to the Text tab, you'll notice here that it has this strong tag, which is used for bold text, and this is the end tag. So this kind of gives you an idea of how HTML looks and how it affects, what you see behind the text. And here's the heading tag, H3, and here's the ending heading tag. Excuse me. So every now and then you'll have something happen where something looks weird in the visual tab and you might need to straighten it out with HTML, and that's where it comes into play. It's useful if you know HTML, but you don't need to know it. You don't need to know it to get started, and that's, I think, a big barrier to entry for a lot of people.